I've personally sold over 42,000 Christmas ornaments on Etsy, making over $500,000 revenue, making over $250,000 profit. And as we are going into Q4, we'll probably sell another 20,000 units over the next couple of months. So in this video, we're gonna do a full tutorial on how to sell personalized Christmas ornaments on Etsy. We're gonna create a winning design on Canva. We're gonna create the product on Printify, and then we're gonna get everything set up on HelloCustom to automate the personalization once these products start to sell. Now, before we get started, you might be wondering, is it too late to launch Christmas ornaments for Christmas 2023? And in my personal opinion, no. Going back 2 seasons ago, I launched Christmas ornaments in October. I think I finished launching the second week of November, and we went from selling $53,000 in October before we had Christmas ornaments to $184,000 in November, all the way up to $200,000 in December. So no, it is not too late to launch Christmas ornaments. Alrighty, so the first thing we're gonna do is create the design on Canva. So let's go ahead and click on Create a Design. And since the Christmas ornaments are round, I'm gonna create the design that is 5,000 by 5,000 pixels and click on Create New Design. So normally before I would start creating the designs, I would go through my entire market research process. If you want to see my market research process, I recommend that you go to my YouTube channel and watch this video here. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and create a design for First Christmas As family of 3 for 2 reasons. One, it is a design that I do not currently sell on Etsy, and 2, our best-selling Christmas ornament is in the Baby's First Christmas niche, and First Christmas As family of 3 is very similar. The process of creating the designs for these Christmas ornaments is the exact same independent of the niche. Now, speaking of niches, there are 10 niches that I personally sell in that if you watch this entire video and stay till the end, I'm going to give you all 10 niches that I personally sell in. So make sure to watch this video in its entirety and stay to the very end. All right, so jumping into the design, the first thing I do when I'm designing a Christmas ornament is because the product is round, nothing over in these corners will make the print. So the first thing that I do is I make the background a dark gray color. I go over to Elements, I select a circle and make the circle the full width and length of the square. And then lastly, I make the circle white. So this essentially just gives me a parameter that my entire design needs to stay inside of this white circle. We will remove the white circle and we will remove the gray background at the end, but this just makes sure that none of my elements make these corners because those will not actually make the print of the product. So as I mentioned, we are going to create a First Christmas As family of 3 design. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on to text element, grab a text element, and I'm going to type in First Christmas As family of, and then I might come over here and change the font to maybe Livic, non-bold, size, let's say, maybe, let's see what 175 looks like. And then one thing I like to do with my Christmas ornaments is kind of space out this text here. So I might go to the spacing and letter spacing, maybe 200. And then maybe 1.2 for the line height. That looks perfect. When you're designing your Christmas ornaments too, you need to remember that there is a little hole right here on the top. So about the top 1/5 I leave empty, knowing that it's gonna get cut off right here. So First Christmas As family of, right here there will be 3. I will choose a different font for this guy here. Say family names are gonna go here, and the date is gonna go here. So 2023 for the year. For the family names, I might do all caps again, Stephen, or I might actually do family. So I might do mom, dad, and my first son's name is Theo. The spacing, I might reduce that to, let's see what 50 looks like. Perfect. For this one here, I might choose a different font going into handwriting. Let's see. See what holiday looks like. No. I'm just going to choose a more scriptic font for the 3 just so it stands out a little bit differently. I think that one looks good. And then I might make it a larger 3. And then also, since this is cursive, remove the letter spacing. Perfect. So first Christmas as family of 3, mom, dad, Theo, and then the year down here. I'll move these down just a little bit. And then what does really well with these Christmas ornaments is clip art. So a great place to find clip art for your designs is Creative Fabrica. You can go over to Creative Fabrica, for example, type in watercolor Christmas clip art, and then they have a huge library of clip art that you can use in your designs. I will include a link in the description below. So I went ahead and downloaded the following clip arts. For this one, variation A, I might do a family of 3 penguins. So I'm just gonna shrink this guy down and center it right there. I think that looks, I might just move it up just a hair. Yeah, first Christmas as family of 3 family penguins, mom, dad, name 2023. I think this looks perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and delete the white circle and delete the background color. And as you guys know, I like to do design variations. So I'm going to do 4 design variations in this example. So I'm gonna make 3 more copies for a total of 4. And this one will be the penguins. Number 2, go back over to my uploads, might be Christmas presents. So in this case, 3 Christmas presents. Let me just resize this. Perfect. Number 3 might be a family of 3 snowmen. Let's shrink that guy down a little bit. Perfect. And then the last one might be 3 stockings. So I have a little wreath here. And then stocking number 1. Might just make a copy of this guy. Stocking number 2 and stocking number 3. And then I believe I might be able to just drag and drop these in if they are the same size. Perfect. All right, so pretty simple, right? So we just made a first Christmas as family of 3 personalized Christmas ornament with 4 variations. So we have one where we have 3 penguins, we have one where we have 3 Christmas presents, one where we have 3 snowmen, and the last one is a wreath with 3 stockings. I would recommend maybe doing first Christmas as family of 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, or maybe it's 7 stockings, 7, maybe 4 of these little guys below for the snowmen. And then for the personalization, we have 3 names here. So it could be Steven, Destiny, Theo, it could be mom, dad, Theo, etc. And then the second personalization is the year, so 2023. Now that we have these designs, the next step is we are going to go over to Printify and create the 4 different Christmas ornaments for each of our 4 designs. Alrighty, so to create the product on Printify, we are going to go over to Printify, type in ornament. And of the Christmas ornaments that they have, the ones that tend to sell the best are these round ceramic ones. So I haven't personally sold these plastic sphere ones or these metal ones or these MFD wood ones. The ones that I personally sell are the 3-inch round ceramics. So I'm gonna go ahead and select, I'm gonna select this one right here. We're gonna scroll down and choose our print provider. In this case, there is only one. Click on Start Designing. And then the next step we need to do is come over to Product Variants. In this case, they have 1 size. They do have different shapes for heart, star, and snowflake. The one that we designed was for a circle, so for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna leave circle selected. You might have to adjust your designs a little bit to fit the heart and the other shapes. So I'm just gonna do the one for the circle, click on Update. And this is when we can drag and drop a PNG of our design. So I'm gonna go back over to Canva really quick, and this is gonna be variation A. So I'm gonna click on Share, Download, PNG, and then for the selected pages, just page 1 and download. And then I'm gonna go ahead and drag in that PNG to our design here. All right, perfect. So if everything looks good, you can go ahead and click on the preview button to make sure nothing falls off the sides or the circle here gets cropped off. But in my opinion, that looks pretty amazing. So now that this ornament looks good, I'm gonna go ahead and click on Save Product. And because we do design variations, I'm gonna click as Save as Draft. If you want to do just the single design for a single listing, this is when you can publish it over to Etsy, but we're gonna do design variations, essentially 4 different similar designs on 1 Etsy listing, where we're gonna skew link these 4 Printify products onto our 1 Etsy listing. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on Save as Draft. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do that 3 more times for our other 3 designs here. Alrighty, so what I ended up doing was duplicating that product 3 more times for a total of 4 products. I then went ahead and swapped out the graphic for each one, so that way each one has its unique graphic. And then for internal purposes only, I titled them First Christmas as Family of 3, Variation A, B, C, and D. And then all 4 of these are unpublished because they are going to be design variations to a single Etsy listing on Etsy. So to go ahead and do that, we're going to go over to Etsy. We're going to go over to listings. We're going to click on add a listing, where we can then create the Etsy listing. In this video, I'm just going to show how to do the SKU linking for the 4 design variations. If you want to see how I do my photos, I recommend that you go to our YouTube channel and watch this video here. And then if you want to see how I do my listing SEO, I also recommend that you guys watch this video here. So in this listing, I'm just going to do the required parts. I have the asterisks in order to publish the listing. So for the photo, I just grabbed the photo from our Printify account here for variation A. For the title, I'm just going to do test title here. About this listing, another company or person, it's a finished product, and it was made to order. For a category, I'm going to type in ornaments. For the description, test description here. Scrolling down, you will have to choose your production partner. For the price, I might do $11.63. Quantity, let's just do $9.99. For the variations, I'm going to click on Add Variation, where I'm going to click on Add a Variation, Create New Variation, and then for this one, I might type in Design. If you chose to do like the stars and the snowflake and the other shapes, you might do a second variation called Shape, but in this case, they're all circle, so we don't need that to be a variation. For the titles of the variations, it's going to be A, B, C, and D. I'm going to go ahead and click on SKUs vary for each design, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on Update. And now there is a SKU input box for option A, B, C, and D. For these ones, we're going to go back over to Printify, and then to grab the SKUs for variation A, I'm going to click on to this product here. I'm going to scroll down where it shows the variations. I'm going to click onto it, and then you can double click, Control-C to copy, go back over to Etsy and paste. For variation B, we can go back to our products, click on variation B, scroll down, click onto the SKU, copy, paste. And I'm going to do the same thing for C and D. So now when this SKU is sold on Etsy, it's going to go to our variation A on Printify, or if this variation, design variation sells on this listing, it's going to be design D on Printify. For personalization, you want to make sure that we turn personalization on, as this is a personalized product with name and date. Scrolling down, we will choose a shipping profile. We will do our returns and exchanges, and then we will click on publish. Perfect, so our variation A is now live on Etsy. The next step that we're going to go ahead and do is click on this gear icon here. I'm going to make 3 more copies of this listing for variations B, C, and D, as we want a unique Etsy listing for each variation. As we discussed in the previous video, of these 4 listings, typically only one is going to rank. So what we do is we put all 4 variations on each of the 4 listings. That way, independent of which one ranks, the shoppers can see all 4 variations. The shopper can shop all the variations on the listing and not necessarily the shop. And so that helps your conversion rate as well. So to do that, I'm going to click on copy. And then the only thing that you really need to swap out here is this main image. So I personally leave the title the same, the description, the tags, the price point, everything else the exact same on variations A, B, C, and D, their listings. But I swap out the main image to be that specific variation. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. All right, perfect. So I went ahead and copied this listing 3 more times for the other variations and swapped out the main image for variation A, variation B, C, and D. And the cool thing about this is when a shopper clicks into your listing, for example, if they click into this listing here, this is our variation A, they have the ability to buy variation B, C, and D. And the one thing that I want to point out here is you will need an image that shows variation A, B, C, and D. That way they know what it looks like and which one they're going to receive. So at this point, we've created the designs inside of Canva. We created the products inside of Printify. We also created the listing inside of Etsy and skew links the 4 Printify products to the 1 Etsy listing. Next, we're going to go over to HelloCustom. We're going to get everything set up so that way when these products start to sell, HelloCustom will automatically personalize these graphics for you. Alrighty, so to get this product set up in HelloCustom, we're first going to click on Templates, click on Add New in the top right corner. And this is where you can upload a PDF of your complete design where HelloCustom will take your design and convert it back into an editable template. So we need to go back over to Canva. We're going to download variation A as a PDF. So I'm going to click on Share, Download, PDF Print. We're going to do page 1. And then we're going to keep the color profile as RGB. Click on Download. And then you can go ahead and drag and drop your PDF here. HelloCustom right now is taking this PDF and converting it back into that editable template. This takes about 5 seconds to do. And as you can see, HelloCustom took that PDF and was able to convert it back into an editable template. So to create the template inside of HelloCustom, the first thing that we need to do is give this template a title. For example, variation A. Once we give it a title, the next thing we need to do is tell HelloCustom what product on Etsy does this graphic belong to. And the way that we do that is by clicking on Product Variants, where HelloCustom will pull all of your Etsy products and display them for you here. If you have a lot of products, feel free to use the search bar to better find your products. But I'm going to go ahead and click into Product A, where it will then show you all of the variations for this listing. Since this graphic is only our Variation A graphic, I'm going to go ahead and deselect Design B, C, and D. Only when Design A sells on Etsy do I want HelloCustom to use this graphic here. I'm going to go ahead and click on Update. Once we give the template a title, select the product SKUs on Etsy, next we need to tell HelloCustom what in this graphic needs to be personalized. So to do that, I'm going to click onto this text element here. So this is actually a good example. Sometimes if a text elements are the same font, color, size, style, and the placement is right next to each other, sometimes HelloCustom will think that they are together. As you can see, this is one text element instead of the 2. A quick solution is to just hit Control-C and Control-V to duplicate it. Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste, and now there are 2. In the first one, I'm going to go ahead and delete the 2023. And in the second one, I'm going to go ahead and click, delete the names. And then just reposition them. All right, perfect. So what I was going to do is click onto this text element here, where when this is personalized, I want it to be center aligned versus left aligned or right aligned. When this is personalized, I want it to be all caps. As you can see, the design is all caps. So if someone types in, capital M, lowercase O-N for mom, the design is for all caps. So I'm going to go ahead and click onto this element right here. That way, when HelloCustom personalizes this text element, it will keep it all as capital letters. Next, I'm going to set the max allowance. Essentially, how long can this text get before I want HelloCustom to dynamically make the text smaller. One thing to remember is this is a round product, so it will get cut off right about right here. So the max allowance might be about here before it would fall off the side of the ornament. So you definitely don't want to set the max allowance to the full square. Next, I'm going to tag this as name, as this is where the name or names are going to go. I'm going to do the same thing for the date. Click onto it, set the max allowance, which might be a little bit shorter, center aligned, and then I'm going to tag this one as date. Now when this SKU sells on Etsy, HelloCustom knows that name goes here and date goes here. When you tag a text element for personalization, HelloCustom checks to see if we have this font inside of our font library. And if you don't, you will receive the following error message, missing font, in this case, Livic. So what you can do is you can either A, click onto the text element and add the Livic font if you want to go get the font and upload it, or B, you can select a similar font. A cool feature that HelloCustom has is this font slider here. So maybe it doesn't need to be Livic, maybe it can be something similar to Livic. So we have a font slider here. As I slide this, it's going to dynamically change the font here to allow us to select something similar. And for the case of the video, I'm going to go ahead and select this font right here. which is this one right here, and I'm going to do the same thing for the date 2023. And one thing to point out is if you end up changing the font, I recommend that you change the graphic to use the same font for the Etsy listing. That way when they see the graphic on Etsy and they receive something of a slightly different font, they might get upset. So make sure you update your Etsy listing if you choose to select a similar font versus just uploading the Livic font. As you can see, the error message went away. And then lastly, this doesn't really apply to the Christmas ornaments as the product itself is white, but if for apparel, for example, if you do not want a white box to be printed onto the product, feel free to click on background and click on transparent, and then HelloCustom will remove the background for you, and then go ahead and click on publish. All right, perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that 3 more times for variations B, C, and D. So I just created the other templates for variations B, C, and D. And the cool thing about this is if a shopper clicks into one of your listings, for example, listing B, they can buy design variation D. And if they type in, for example, can the names be Stephen, Destiny, Theo, and the date be 2023, add to cart and buy this, HelloCustom will automatically personalize the graphic and display it for your approval in our approval queue. You will see a thumbnail of the personalized graphics side by side with the Etsy order information. You will see the product, the quantity bought, the variation, and what the shopper actually typed in. In this case, we typed in, can the names be Stephen, space dash, Destiny, space dash, Theo, and the date to be 2023. HelloCustom took this and read the following as name, and read the following as date, and made the following graphic for us. HelloCustom uses the correct font, color, placement, and best of all, the correct personalization. As you can see also that the letters are in all capitals for this template for Stephen, Destiny, Theo, 2023. If everything looks correct, go ahead and click on approve, and the graphic will automatically be fulfilled through Printify. That's incredible, right? What used to take 2 to 5 minutes to personalize the graphic and another 2 to 5 minutes to update the order on Printify can now be done with the simple click of a button. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Essentially, we went over everything you need to know to sell personalized Christmas ornaments on Etsy. And for those of you who stay till the end, as I promised, I am going to share the 10 niches that I personally sell in for Christmas ornaments on Etsy that has allowed me to sell over 42,000 units and probably another 20,000 units over the next couple of months. And those niches are, in no particular order, Baby's First Christmas, First Christmas Engaged, First Christmas Married, Anniversary, Godparent, Baptism, Promoted to, First Christmas in New Home or Apartment, Memorial, and Teacher. If you got value in this episode, please give the video a thumbs up and maybe share it with a friend who might get value out of it as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.